Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Ty here, and this is Ty Space. In today's video, I'll be talking ambient lighting. And ambient lighting, I mean LED strips. I'm a lover of secondary and ambient lighting, so I try to use LED strips to give me that effect because it kind of makes the space look much nicer. However, I'm stuck between three different options: the NANOLEAF Essentials, the GOVEE M1, and the AQARA T1. However, I can only choose one of these LED strips. So I'm going to be talking about some of the different factors I took into consideration to be able to narrow down my choice. In this video, I'll guide you through my installation process as well as give a detailed comparison between the LED strips, their length, prices, number of SMDs per meter, the distances between cuts, their waterproof rating, and talk about some of the functions of some of their apps as well. Come with me and let's dive right into this. Starting out with number one is the length, price, and number of SMDs. The NANOLEAF offers a 5-meter LED strip for about $69.99 Canadian dollar. And when we calculate that price per meter, it comes down to approximately $13.99 per meter. The NANOLEAF Essential also has 2835 SMD LEDs per meter. Now the 2835 is responsible for the whites, and it has 48 RGB SMDs per meter. So in total it comes out to about 61 SMDs per meter. Now it's important to note that the NANOLEAF has a cut point of about 33 centimeters interval, so which means that you can only cut it at 33 centimeters interval each. Now this could be a problem depending on the length of your install location. Another thing with the NANOLEAF is that you cannot reuse the cut part. So once you cut it off, that's the end. That strip is not usable anymore. Another downside with the NANOLEAF is the fact that this is not waterproof, so it has no IP rating. The GOVEE M1 provides a 16.4 feet strip, which is approximately 5 meters for about 160 Canadian dollar, resulting in approximately 32 Canadian dollar per meter. Now that is almost 3 times the cost of the NANOLEAF. However, it comes with 60 SMD LEDs per meter, making it a great choice if you need brighter and more vibrant lighting. It can also be cut and reconnected at 50 centimeters interval, and it's rated for IP67, which means you can use it outdoors. The AQARA T1 comes in at $64.99 Canadian dollar for about 2 meters. This translates to about $32.50 Canadian dollar per meter. With 60 SMDs per meter, the AQARA T1 can be cut and reconnected at 20 centimeter interval. It has an IP44 rating, which means it's just splash proof, so don't use it outdoors. Now let's talk about the connectivity protocols that these 3 LED strips uses. Now first of all 3 of them support Matter, but NANOLEAF uses Thread and Bluetooth to be able to implement Matter, while GOVEE M1 connects using Wi-Fi. The AQARA T1 uses Zigbee. Now what that means is that you need a Zigbee hub. In my case, I have the AQARA G3 camera, which also acts as a hub, or the Samsung SmartThings hub as well. So definitely this is something to consider depending on your existing smart home ecosystem. Now let's talk about the apps that these 3 different brands come with. Now they'll support Matter like I mentioned earlier on, and they can all integrate into the major smart home systems like Apple HomeKit, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, and each app has its own unique functions that you might find appealing. The problem with using Matter is that it limits a lot of the functionality and features that you have access with. So using the app is the only way to be able to get access to some of this creative lighting effect. And the NANOLEAF offers a ton of those within the NANOLEAF store. Similarly, the GOVEE and the AQARA also provides experiences with a variety of lighting effects and customizations. I personally prioritize adaptive lighting in all of my LED strips, and this is something that Apple HomeKit offers natively to any of the light strips. However, if you're not using Apple HomeKit, the NANOLEAF does offer the circadian rhythm, which is the equivalent of adaptive lighting. The NANOLEAF app offers a plethora of lighting options that you can download from the NANOLEAF store, allowing for creative lighting effect. It offers a lot of options that you can play around with and kind of do a lot of sunset, sunrise, a lot of different configurations you can use around. It offers a lot of different themes that you can play around with, and you can even go as far as just narrowing it down to the exact Kelvin that you want. So you can set it up to even 2700 Kelvin, 6500, or 5000. You can narrow it down to that, or you can use themes and effects where it kind of changes it across throughout the day. It's called something called the circadian rhythm. So early in the morning you get into that day bright white light, and as the day starts to come to an end, right, towards the evening, it starts to edge towards the 2700 Kelvin, and eventually at nighttime, it's kind of that, yellowish, warm, cool kind of light. And the NANOLEAF excels extremely well at this. And those big massive SMDs on this LED strip, you can increase the brightness on the NANOLEAF, and it can almost blind you, because having a lot of this around the place, I find out that it can get super bright. AQARA T1 LED strip. Within the app itself, you're using the AQARA app, and I find out that this is not the greatest in terms of usability, although you can dial down the Kelvin as well. Just like with the NANOLEAF, you can set it down to the specific Kelvin temperature you want. But when it comes to all the other functionalities, it's kind of lacking in that regard, especially with the fact that the AQARA T1 is actually RBIC, which means individually addressable SMDs. You can actually change the color of each of the SMDs on this LED strip. Now, this is actually an advanced feature, and you need to be looking for this kind of functionality. You have to actually be looking for it to be able to take advantage of it. However, NANOLEAF doesn't have this functionality. It is not individually addressable, so you can actually individually change each of the colors. The GOVEE N1 is also an addressable LED, which means you can change each of those colors as well, just like with the AQARA. But the app for GOVEE I find to be a little bit more advanced than AQARA. You can do a lot more within the GOVEE app, and I think the GOVEE is tailored towards more of that, creative lighting effects, gaming environment, streaming environment, or even like a media room kind of setup. The GOVEE excels very well at that. However, within the GOVEE app, you cannot select the Kelvin. At least I couldn't do it. I couldn't find anywhere to intuitively change the temperature of the LED strip. I could do that with both the NANOLEAF and the AQARA, but I couldn't exactly set the specific temperature I wanted for the GOVEE, such as doing something like that, adaptive lighting. From a price perspective, the GOVEE LED strip is the most expensive one. However, again, it comes with a ton of features like that inbuilt microphone, which you can use for music sync. It also has 60 individually addressable SMDs, which is fantastic for creating lots of light effects, and it's kind of tightly packed in there, so you get that really nice looking LED strip and effects when you're using them in your gaming room, in your media room. But if you're just using it, like in my use case, just for ambient lighting, I don't think this is actually very beneficial, especially with the fact that I cannot set up automation routines with those individually addressable LEDs. One thing I like to see is to be able to automate them such that, if I'm walking past the LED strip, right, I want to see something where the light will kind of, follow or, kind of simulate my walking past it, or, creating a lot of effects with motion and automation. That's where I really see the benefit of that GOVEE LED strip. But so right now, I can't see any benefit of that. If you're into gaming and you like all of that lighting going on, this guy will be good for you. And maybe for my media room, I might consider this guy. But my use case right now is for ambient lighting. That kind of rules out the GOVEE for me. And for the AQARA, I kind of find it to be in between both the NANOLEAF and the GOVEE. It doesn't do as well as the GOVEE in terms of the individually addressable lighting, as well as the effects options that are available within the app. I find the app quite basic compared to the GOVEE. So if you're looking for that lighting effects, the GOVEE is your best bet. But if you don't want to spend that ridiculous 160 Canadian dollar, AQARA will be a suitable option for you. However, the AQARA is also slightly better than the NANOLEAF in terms of that individually addressable LEDs. But however, I find out that it's actually much dimmer in terms of its brightness and the size of those SMDs. So the NANOLEAF is much feature rich in terms of the features you can see within the app itself compared to the AQARA. So it's kind of a trade-off. If you're going for that individual addressable, I don't want to spend the GOVEE money, then maybe the AQARA might work for you. But if you want just something that does that basic functionality and is also feature rich, then the NANOLEAF would be a better option. Now let's talk about the warranty. The NANOLEAF actually offers 3 years of warranty. In fact, I actually had issues with my NANOLEAF, and they sent me a replacement one within 2 days. They tried troubleshooting and tried to see if they could fix it up on the phone with no success, and they immediately sent me a replacement. They didn't ask me for receipts and or make me jump through hoops. They immediately resolved it, and it is rated for up to 15,000 hours. The AQARA has only 1 year, so does the GOVEE, and I've not tried to use their customer service yet. NANOLEAF takes pride in their customer service from my personal experience. The warranty and customer service is a very important component to me. I want to be able to buy a product and have confidence in that product that I can get support for it. To wrap things up, I hope this comprehensive comparison and insight into the NANOLEAF essentials, the GOVEE M1 and the AQARA T1 LED strips has given you a clearer picture of the pros and the cons of each. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more smart home tech content.